Look up, but don't stare. We are taught from the moment we can hold a crayon that the circle in the corner of the page should be colored yellow, maybe orange if it's setting. We feel its warmth on our skin, and we call it golden. We bathe in its light and assume we know it. It is the most familiar object in human history. Every religion, every civilization, every pair of eyes that has ever opened on this planet has witnessed it. But what if I told you that your eyes have been lying to you? What if I told you that the defining feature of our solar system, the anchor of our gravity, and the giver of all life, is actually a stranger? The sun is not yellow. It never has been. This misconception is not just a trick of the light or a trivial factoid for a dinner party. It is a fundamental misunderstanding of physics, of biology, and of the terrifyingly violent nuclear furnace that burns 93 million miles away. When we strip away the atmosphere, when we remove the biological filters of our own evolution, the object that remains is something far colder in appearance, yet infinitely more hostile in reality. We live next to a monster, a blinding, pure white monster that screams across the electromagnetic spectrum in ways we are only just beginning to comprehend. We think of the sun as a steady, gentle provider. But the reality is that we are living in the breathing atmosphere of a volatile star that is currently in its middle-aged crisis. To understand the true color of the sun is to understand the nature of reality itself, how light interacts with matter, how our brains construct the world, and how fragile our existence truly is beneath that silent, white gaze. And if you want to peel back the layers of perception and see the universe as it truly is, not just as it appears to be, make sure you are subscribed. We are about to stare directly into the light. Let's dismantle the illusion first. Why do we see yellow? The culprit is the air you are breathing right now. Our atmosphere is a chaotic, swirling mixture of nitrogen, oxygen, argon, and trace gases. When sunlight hits the top of our atmosphere, it arrives as a mixture of all colors. This is what Sir Isaac Newton discovered when he passed a beam of white light through a prism, splitting it into a rainbow. White light is not the absence of color. It is the total, overwhelming presence of all of them. But as this white light hammers into our atmosphere, it collides with gas molecules. This is Rayleigh scattering. The shorter wavelengths, the blues and violets, are scattered much more strongly than the longer wavelengths like red, orange, and yellow. Think of it like a pinball machine. The blue light gets bounced around wildly, scattering in every direction. That is why the sky is blue. It is literally the scattered debris of sunlight, because the blue is stripped away and scattered across the dome of the sky. The direct beam that actually punches through to your retina is depleted in blue. What's left? The longer wavelengths, the yellows, the reds. If you were to float up to the International Space Station, unencumbered by this blanket of gas, and look out the window, the sun would not look like a friendly yoke. It would look like a hole in the fabric of space, punched by a blinding, pure white LED. It is stark. It is clinical. It is the color of burning magnesium. But the deception goes deeper than just the atmosphere. It goes into the machinery of your own head. Evolution did not design your eyes to do astrophysics. It designed them to find fruit, spot predators, and navigate terrain. Our eyes are most sensitive to the green-yellow part of the spectrum. This isn't an accident. This is where the sun's output peaks. If we look at the black-body radiation curve of the sun, the graph that shows how much energy it emits at each wavelength, it peaks right around 500 nanometers. That is blue-green. Yes, the sun is technically a green star, if you only look at its peak output. But because it emits so much light across the rest of the visible spectrum, plenty of red, plenty of blue, our brain averages this input. When you mix red, green, and then blue light together in high quantities, your brain doesn't say greenish, it screams white. So, the sun emits peak energy in green, looks white in space, and appears yellow on Earth. We are trapped in a triple-layered illusion. We are biological machines calibrated to a specific star, looking through a gas filter, trying to comprehend a nuclear explosion. To truly understand why the sun is white, we have to go to the place where the color is born. We have to descend. We need to travel 432,000 miles beneath the surface, into the core. Here, the concept of color loses all meaning. Here there is only density and terror. The pressure is 260 billion times greater than Earth's atmosphere. The temperature is 15 million degrees Celsius. In this crushing hellscape, hydrogen atoms are not just floating. They are being smashed together with such violence that they fuse into helium. This is the proton-proton chain reaction. It is the engine of the solar system. Every second, the sun converts 600 million tons of hydrogen into helium. In that process, 4 million tons of matter are annihilated, converted purely into energy. Think about that, 4 million tons. That is the weight of 10,000 Empire State Buildings, vanishing every single second, turned into pure light and heat. This energy starts as gamma rays, the most lethal, high-frequency light in the universe. If the sun's surface emitted these gamma rays directly, the Earth would be sterilized in an instant. There would be no atmosphere, no oceans, just a scorched rock. But the sun is dense, incredibly dense. A photon of light, created in the core, cannot just fly out. It crashes into a charged particle, gets absorbed, re-emitted, crashes again and again. It is a drunkard's walk. A photon can take 100,000 to 170,000 years just to travel from the core to the surface. The light hitting your face today was born before modern humans walked out of Africa. It was born when Neanderthals were hunting mammoths in Europe. It has been trapped inside the sun, bouncing around, losing energy, stretching out from lethal gamma rays into X-rays, then UV, and finally, visible white light. By the time it breaches the surface, the photosphere, it has cooled to a mere 5,500 degrees Celsius. This is the temperature that dictates the color. In physics, everything that has heat glows. You glow in infrared. A hot poker glows red. Heat it more, it turns orange, then yellow. Heat it enough, and it goes white. And if you could heat a ball of iron to 5,500 degrees, it would look exactly like the sun, white hot. The sun isn't burning like a campfire. Fire is a chemical reaction. The sun is incandescence. It is a glowing ball of plasma, radiating white, because that is simply what matter does when it is that hot. It is the color of raw thermal violence. We have established the sun is white, but is it perfect? For centuries, astronomers believed the sun was a flawless, divine orb. Aristotle taught that the heavens were immutable, unchanging, and perfect. When Galileo pointed his telescope at the sun in 1610, he saw something that shattered this dogma. He saw blemishes. He saw sunspots. These dark patches are not actually black. If you could scoop a sunspot out of the sun and place it in the night sky, it would shine as bright as the full moon. They only look black because they are slightly cooler than the blinding white plasma surrounding them. But these spots are the telltale signs of the magnetic war raging inside the star. The sun is not a solid rock. it rotates. But because it is plasma, the equator spins faster than the poles. This differential rotation drags the magnetic field lines, stretching them, twisting them like rubber bands. Eventually, the tension becomes too great. The magnetic lines snap and burst through the surface. When they snap, they don't just make a spot. They release the energy of 1 billion atomic bombs. We call these coronal mass ejections. And this is where the color of the sun becomes a matter of life and death. When we look at the sun through specialized telescopes, we don't look in visible white light. We look in extreme ultraviolet. And here we look at wavelengths like 171 angstroms or 304 angstroms. In these wavelengths, the sun isn't white or yellow. It is a terrifying, swirling chaos of gold, purple, and teal loops. NASA artificially colors these images so scientists can track different temperatures. That famous image of a green sun, that's plasma at 6 million degrees. The teal sun, that's 10 million degrees. The sun wears many masks. The white face is just the one it shows to the naked eye. But underneath, it is a multicolored beast of magnetic fury. In 1859, a massive solar flare hit Earth. It was called the Carrington event. The aurora borealis was so bright that gold miners in the Rocky Mountains woke up at 1 a.m. and started making breakfast, thinking it was morning. Telegraph systems sparked and caught fire. Operators received electric shocks. If a storm of that magnitude hit us today in our white sun world, it wouldn't just be telegraphs. It would be the internet, the power grid, GPS, satellites, banking systems. The white light is steady, but the invisible magnetic light is a loaded gun pointed at our digital civilization. We are living in the atmosphere of a variable star, and we have lulled ourselves into a false sense of security because to our eyes, it looks like a steady yellow lamp. Nothing lasts forever. Not even the white tyrant of our solar system. The color of the sun is a clock. It tells us where we are in the life cycle. Right now, we are in the main sequence, the stable white phase, but the hydrogen is running out. In about 5 billion years, the core will run out of fuel. Yes, the delicate balance between gravity crushing inward and nuclear fire pushing outward will break. Gravity will win. The core will collapse and heat up. This extra heat will push the outer layers of the sun outward. The sun will grow. It will swallow Mercury. It will swallow Venus. It will grow so large that it will fill the entire sky of Earth. As it expands, its surface will cool, and as it cools, the color will shift. The white will fade. The blue and green wavelengths will drop off. The sun will finally truly become what we always pretended it was. It will turn orange, and then a deep, bloody red. It will become a red giant. Imagine standing on a scorched Earth, looking up at a sky that is no longer blue, but stripped away by the solar wind. Above you hangs a dull, red orb that spans from horizon to horizon. The oceans are gone. The mountains are melting. The golden sun is gone. But even that is not the end. The red giant will shed its outer layers, puffing them gently into space to create a nebula, a beautiful shroud of gas. And what will be left? The core, the tiny, incredibly dense core. It will no longer be doing fusion. It will just be a cooling ember of cosmic ash. It will be about the size of Earth, but containing half the mass of the original sun. It will be a white dwarf. It will return to white, but not the blinding, life-giving white of today. It will be a ghostly, pale white, a dead star, slowly cooling over trillions of years until it fades into blackness. The universe is a story of color. It starts in the black, ignites into white, swells into red, and fades back into the black. We are lucky enough to be alive during the brief, brilliant white flash in the middle. So, the sun is not yellow, it is white. Why does this matter? Why spend 20 minutes deconstructing a color? Because it reminds us that our perception is not reality. We navigate the world using senses, our eyes, that are limited, biased, and easily fooled. We construct a comfortable narrative where the sun is a warm, yellow friend. But science allows us to take off the blinders. It allows us to see the white-hot truth. It allows us to see the 4 million tons of matter vanishing every second. It allows us to see the magnetic storms and the inevitable red death waiting in the deep future. There is a strange beauty in the truth. When you walk outside tomorrow and see that yellow circle, remember what you are really looking at. You are looking at a white hole in the sky, filtered by the breath of our planet, powered by the crushing of atoms and destined to consume us. It is not yellow. It is all colors, all at once, screaming across the void. It is the white noise of existence. If you want to keep exploring the dark, beautiful, and often terrifying truths of our universe, you know what to do. Join us. The universe is vast, and we have only just begun to open our eyes. Until next time.